Hi there and welcome back to our channel. In this new video today I want to talk to you about tarot books, or more specifically tarot books related to the Tarot de Marseille, books that can help you to understand or to develop your connection and your understanding and improve your own readings. First of all, I want to state that we don't have in 78 Puertas each and every single tarot books in the world. So this is a selection from the ones that we have and the ones that we like, of course. Well, in this case it's not we, but me. First of all, I'm going to start with this book, The Castle of the Crossed Destinies by the Italian writer Italo Calvino. This is the Spanish edition. For many years I didn't have this book because it's a novel. It's not a tarot book. It's not something very specific or very academic study on tarot. It's a novel. And because being a novel, it's available in public libraries. And for many years, each summer, I picked it up in my local public library and read the book. And I encourage you, I strongly recommend you to use your public libraries, because you have access to books, to wisdom, to knowledge for free. It's that simple. Feed your mind as much as you can. As I was saying, I read this book every year, every single summer. This book has two parts. The first one, more or less half of it, is the Castle of the Crossed Destinies, which gives title to the book, and the second part is the Tavern of the Crossed Destinies. The first part, the castle, is, if you want, something more aristocratic, and for that part, Italo Calvino uses the Visconti Sforza tarot deck, and the second part, the Tavern, is more day-to-day life for more standard people, if you want, like you and me. And for that part he uses the Tarot de Marseille by Paul Marteau, this one by Remote Editions. This is the yellow box, but there's also a green one, the red one, and the blue one with titles in French. Everything, the only thing that changes is just the titles, the language of the titles of the cards. More or less is the same. It's very easy to find in your public library, as I said. This edition has 136 pages. It has a good size of letter, and as you see, one of the things that stand out is that we have cards depicted on both sides of both pages, in the margins. There is here, okay, this book took him, to the author Italo Calvino, took him many years, because he wanted to make this sort of magic square in which all the stories were contained here, both in columns and in rows, both, or in one sense or the other, and the columns also upside down and down upside, and everything is here in this drawing, all the stories, because this is in certain ways is a collection of stories. What really I enjoy from this book is that there are no fixed meanings. It's what Enriquez, we will talk him about later on with this book. Enriquez, in this book, he says that the Castle of the Crossed Destinies is in a certain way plagiarism by anticipation of what he does, of the open reading. Why? Because here in this book are the roots, the seeds of what later on became known as the open reading. You know what it is, the open reading. I've explained it many times in our videos, but Just suppose this is a random selection of cards. There's no question or nor anything. We can say that Italo Calvino would describe this as saying that in the middle of a battle between two armies, two knights got isolated, they fought each other for a long time until it became to be night. And at night they got lost, and suddenly they got to a lake, and by the side of the lake there was a woman who was naked under the stars, washing herself or whatever. Just like this. It's a description of the tarot cards to create stories. And one of the things that this book gets, and why I like it, is that it broadens, it opens wide your eyes and your mind when it comes to look at the cards and understand what they say, which is one of the bases of our work in our tarot courses and readings. So this is, for now, this book, the first one, The Castle of the Cross Destinies by Italo Calvino. Now, the second book is this one. It's written, this one is by a woman, is the Tarot, The Answer from the Future by Tchalai Unger. This book is really hard to find, really hard. It wasn't very expensive, it just cost me €7.50, but nowadays it's, as I said, very difficult. I think it's out of print. It has 124 pages, something like that. The size of the text, as you can see, is very easy to read. Oh, some zoom. Let's see. Oh, what's going on now? Okay, you see, it's all in Spanish because this is the Spanish edition, but it's rather easy to read it. It's very accessible. As you can see, I have underlined a lot of things, and I have pins here to get to important parts that I like, because I like to reread the books. There is a version in PDF of this book in English. There is an alternative version of this book made for South America, which is called El Tarot, ¿Por qué, cómo y hasta dónde? That's the Spanish title. In English, this book was translated into English and is The Tarot, Why, How, and How Far, also by Tchalai Unger. And this book in English in PDF is available in many Facebook groups, so you have the option to get it. Don't doubt it, because this book is really amazing. This book, what's most special and important about this book is that it doesn't provide you meanings or keywords. This book teaches you and challenges you to know your own deck, to mind your own deck. So you get to understand it and know it. Tchalai, uses this same tarot deck, the one by Grimaud. And what she challenges you is to pay attention to the details, to the names, to the colors, to the images, and it's really great and amazing. Really, I totally recommend this book. Well, now let's go, as I said before, to this book, Tarology by Enriquez. He was born in Venezuela, but he lives in New York, so a bit of both worlds together. This book has, just give me a second, 240 pages more or less, and it has a good size of letters. some parts are really interesting, some parts are very arid and, or at least to me, very difficult to be understood, sorry. But maybe it's just all my fault. Enrique has a very special conception of tarot and language, and some parts of this book are fully out of my reach. But apart from that, as I said, it's a great book, and I totally recommend it. This edition, the quality of the paper and the front cover, everything is just fantastic, and it's a great book. Get it and read it if you don't have it. Another woman in this case, Camelia, Elias. This book is Tarot de Marseille Tarot, Towards the Art of Reading. This one has, let's see, around 200 pages, easy to read, with lots of examples, many things that you can use and learn and apply to your own readings. There is a section where she breaks down the cards, the major arcana, and she provides here keywords and meanings in different aspects of life and some combinations. The cards that she uses here, you see that the images are in full color. These images are from the tarot by Carlos Zoya, which, as far as I know, is not available, but you can translate everything to the standard Tarot de Marseille deck. And as I said, it's totally recommendable. It's a great book. I really enjoy it, and you can grab many useful things from this. Certainly, as with many other tarot books, there is a mixture of open reading and fixed meanings, which to me is a bit incomprehensible, because, as you know, we read and teach to read with the open reading, where there are no meanings, no keywords or anything like that. But I mean, we don't use numerology, we don't use that in signification of the meaning of a certain color or anything like that. She does, and for her is great, and in her system is great. So this is another book that I recommend to you, and that you do well in having and reading. And here in the back side, final part, we have these references and books that she used to write this one as references. And here she mentions this book, Jean-Michel David, Reading the Marseille Tarot. I have this book in PDF, not in paper, because it's very thick and very expensive. And that book is also a very good one, as in fact is the tarot, the book made by this person, Jean-Claude Flornoy. You know that he made this version of the Tarot de Marseille by Jan Noblet. He also made one of the Jean Dodal, and also his version only of the trumps of the Jacques Viville. He also wrote a book which you can get in his website, which is here, letarot.com. This is the French website, but there you have a flag for English, and if you tap on it, you will get the website translated automatically to English. And there you can buy the book written in English, which is Seeing the World. In French is Le Pèlerinage des Bateleurs, and I have it in PDF, not in paper, but it's a great book to make you understand the tarot from a different approach, from a different point of view. It's not the usual book, the standard tarot book. It's something completely different, but it's a great book. Go ahead with it. And I have shown you this deck by Grumeau a few times now. Is the one made by the tarot made by Paul Marteau, and he made a book which is not for newbies. I must confess, it's a bit complicated, but if you have the chance to get it, you will not be disappointed. Though, as I said, it's a bit arid, okay? It's a bit difficult. Another book, another great book, an outstanding. The open reading, there are two versions in English of this book. The open reading by Yoav Bendov. He's from Israel, he was from Israel. And in order to make this book and avoid paying copyrights and stuff, he decided to make his own version of the Comber deck, and he called it CBD. C for Comber, B for Ben, and D for Dove. CBD, Comber, Ben, Dove. And in this book, which has 375 pages, something like that, and with a great size of both images and letters, the typography. He breaks down both majors and minors and pip cards, the chord cards, everything. This is a great book which I totally recommend to you. Totally, absolutely. Go ahead and with this book and you will not go wrong. From the two versions in English, one of them I think has the images, the inside images in black and white, and the other one has the images in colors, but it's the same book as far as I know. As you can see, I have the one in Spanish language. Another book, yet again by a woman, Untold Tarot by Kaylin Matthews. This book has 224 pages. The typography, the size of the letter is a bit small, I have to say it, but it's printed in color. The quality of the paper is outstanding, is great. It breaks down, in the book breaks down the tarot, especially the trumps, the major arcana, provides a bit of history, not too much because it's not a history book. And what I haven't liked at all too much about this book is that Kaylin Matthews mix open reading with meanings, keywords, ancient meanings, very different styles of readings, and it's a bit messy to follow, at least for me, which as you know, I prefer the open reading, but she provides great information. There are a good bunch of ancient readings which are very interesting to be developed and work on your own to grab them and to get the knowledge from that type of reading. It's a very good book. It should be in Spanish also. If Kaylin sees this video, watches it, this book should be in Spanish too. It's great. Okay, more books. The Way of Tarot by Alejandro Jodorowsky and Marianne Costa. This is Marianne and this is Alejandro. This one, there are two versions of this book, one in soft cover and one with hard cover. This is the soft cover and has, just a second, over 610 pages. The letter is a bit small, I have to say. Images are in black and white, except these ones here in this here, which are in color, only these ones, the mayors and a few court cards and the aces. It's not a book for newbies, from my point of view. You can learn a lot of things from this book, but from my opinion and according to my experience, I wouldn't recommend it to a newbie, a new starter, someone who is started or beginning to learn how to read the Tarot de Marseille. It's a bit complicated and with certain ideas, which is the ideas that Jodorowsky has about the Tarot and his readings. So if you follow his schemes, if you follow his way of reading, it can be great, but if you don't, it can be a bit difficult. So, as I said, not for rookies, but yes for people who already have a certain baggage. And the same applies to this book, Jung and the Tarot by Sallie Nichols. Jung is probably the most cited author of tarot in the tarot books everywhere. And the point is that Carl Gustav Jung just wrote 2 or 3 lines about the tarot, just stating that there are people who use it and for divination and stuff like that. That's also something very, very small. But despite of that, he is the most famous author of tarot books. And he never did write a book on tarot. And in this book, Sallie Nichols provides very interesting insights and approaches, which I really like and enjoy. Yeah, it's here. This is from another side, Rider-Waite Smith. I forgot to say the size of the letters is perhaps a bit small, and it has just a second, over 540 pages, more or less. It provides this type of knowledge or comprehension that makes you understand the tarot from a different point of view. It's not a typical or usual tarot book, and that's why I also say that it's not for rookies or for people who begin to learn how to read the tarot, but it's a very good book and very recommendable. I also want to recommend you books about the history of tarot. There are a good bunch of them. You have all the books by the French author Thierry Paulis, also the ones by Michael Dammett, the cultural history of tarot by Helen Farley. But I want to especially stand out this book. It's on hardcover. It has over, 270 pages. It's made on outstanding quality, black and white, color images. It has a great size of letters. It provides great information on history and different interpretations in each card, in each major arcana. He provides the divinatory meanings by Cour de Gobelin, Le Comte de Melette, Aliette, Oretela, Papos, Oswald Wirth, and Paul Marteau. But the good point and why I recommend this book is all the first part, which is the history, both of minors and majors, and the decks, the different decks, and the evolution and everything, and with a very special how can I say, focus on the Tarot de Marseille. And as you know, as the Marseille Tarot is our passion and our target and our objective and our life, that's why we recommend especially this book on the Tarot de Marseille. As far as I know, this book, it's available only in French. So this book was firstly available in French, then it was translated to Portuguese and then to Spanish. I don't know if it's already translated to English or not. Should be. I don't know if it is, but in case it's not, it should be. And I also want to make a statement. Any of this book, and no tarot book at all, will ever teach you to read the tarot. Why? Because just like as when you learn the ABC or 1, 2, 3, or when you begin to learn a foreign language or to learn mathematics or wherever, you need a teacher. You need the interaction with a teacher. And with that teacher, you learn. You have a bigger amount, step by step, of knowledge, of understanding. And the same applies with the tarot. You need a teacher. You need courses. Some people just take one, some people take several. I don't mind. But take courses. Learn with someone who can teach you. Because that's the right way to learn. That's the way you're going to learn to read the tarot, with teachers. Otherwise, just with books and videos, you will not learn. Because the tarot is something which is alive, and you need to understand how it works. Because it's not the same to have the cards in this order than to have this order. You see how the two horses here become the two howling wolves or dogs howling at the moon. You're not going to read the tarot. You're not going to learn to see this in any book. You're not going to learn to connect this card with this card through the water in any tarot or in any book. Or in any book or in any video. You need a tarot course. You need a teacher to teach you. That's the most important part of learning tarot, having a good teacher. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for your attention and see you next time. Bye-bye.